how often are we sold on you can only do this, you can only train 45 minutes anymore, you're hurting yourself, you can only eat this, you should eat this amount of protein, etc. We're sold all these different things that you should do and you shouldn't do. The limitations are all set there. Those are not for you to go by. It's for you to find out what you can do. And guess what? So many times I've thought this is all I can do. And very often we think, well, if we feel this way, then we should stop. And I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't stop. I'm saying for myself, and I hope you can experience it, where you can just say, look, I decided to do this, and I found that it worked for me, and I kept doing it. Those are what I'm sharing. Those moments where I went and said, I'm going to push beyond this. Something's telling me to stop. I'm just going to keep going and keep pushing. I've had the greatest results that way. And so often we're sold only 45-minute workout if you're natural. I've worked out for 8 hours before. I've worked out for many hours. Now, is it 8 hours non-stop? No. It's been 8 hours of all these different exercises and activities because I want to push my body. I want to test it. Take a triathlete. Someone who goes out there and just does all these different activities for long periods of time. That's a strong person, and it takes a lot to do that. So I would often look at high performance activities and say, how do I apply it to what I'm doing right now? So often we're limited and people say you can only do this and you can only do that and you should eat this and you should eat that. I'm saying, how much can I really do? And it's always been more. And we're sold so short on what we can do. And guess what? As you go out there and you do a lot, you realize you come back. I come back from the 8-hour workout and I'm sharper than I've ever been. I have more energy than I've ever had. And I'm thinking, how much bullshit are we sold? It's as if you wouldn't be able to function if you did that. But the more you can do stuff, and it's not as if I went from not working out to doing an 8-hour workout. I've built myself up to that point that my body's already responding well to hard workouts. It's already conditioned to be able to handle those workloads. So the day after, I'm actually alright. Now, if I did it initially, then I would probably be exhausted for a day or a couple of days. But guess what? The more that you can find your own way of pushing yourself, you take responsibility for what you do. The more you can respond to that you go out there and you see, how did that go? What am I going to do next? And then you respond accordingly. Then the more you're going to find out who you are, how much you can push yourself, what results you can get. And that's a great way for you to actually say, you know what, I don't need to follow this person's that's all you can do point. Basically, the person says you can only do 12 sets in a workout. No, I've done a lot more than that. Then that's a point you can say, no, I do this many sets and it works for me, because you're not following someone else's advice. You've taken the best advice that you can get, and then you've went, right, I'm going to try and see what I can do. I'm going to push myself. I'm going to push past limitations. That's for everything in life. It's not just for the workout. It's going to be at the job. It's not just going to be the job. It's going to be the responsibilities you have. It's not going to be one area. It's going to be all of those areas and everything that goes on in your life. The more you can push past something, the more you're just going to be able to respond better to everything, from the breaking your toe on the bottom of your bed right up to getting into a fist fight with a couple of people. So do it now, and you'll be able to go far beyond where you've previously been.